Welcome to the live session. This is the Holistic Mind Live. Hi there, I'm Anulal. I'm an author, educator, and entrepreneur. And in this live session, we will be discussing a lot of new ideas related to writing, literature, and in general, the spirit of friendship. We will be today joined by the team of writers Kalam, and soon we'll be starting our discussions, our wonderful conversation. Once again, welcome to another wonderful session of the Holistic Mind Live, where we discuss ideas and where you benefit. Welcome back once again. The idea that we discussed in the previous live session, if you were part of the previous live session, you must be remembering the previous day, the day before the previous day, we discussed what is the first step that we should take if we are interested in improving our communication skills, improving our language skill. The first thing that we need to do in order to improve our language skill is to respect the language that we want to learn. That is what we learned in the previous session. In today's session, we will be learning a few ideas about how to start writing or how to speak well in a particular language. And today, the language that we are discussing, as always, is English, because in today's world, English is a lingua franca. English is what unites people. So because our platform is a platform of friendship and unity, we will be certainly discussing English language. And we are today joined by, they will all be here. Now, the very first thing that I would like to remind all of you, my wonderful listeners, is that the purpose of using language is to share ideas and to build relationships. I think that is what we need to understand and keep in mind. When you use language, that is the prime purpose. And today we are joined by Suresh sir. Hello, Suresh sir. How are
How are you,
you?
Mr. Lal? I'm fine. Much better now. Thank you.
He has been going through some really, really bad health issues, and now, thank God, he is coming back to, the lion that he is, and the power that he always delivers is I can see that in his smile. So, welcome back to Writers Kalam live session, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's been a tough month, and
Indeed,
things have been too
indeed,
slow,
indeed,
but
indeed.
need to catch up. Now I need to catch up
Hmm.
with that, and I need to step up on my writing, on my
Indeed,
all activities.
indeed.
Hi, Neha.
Now, for
Good
our
evening.
audience, good evening,
Good
Neha. For
evening,
our
sir.
audience, let me introduce Suresh, sir. His name is Suresh Nair, and he is one of the columnists of the Holistic Mind, which is a monthly independent journal on lifestyle, which is distributed internationally. And he is a wonderful writer, a storyteller as well. His short story will soon be published in our anthology, Stories from the Soil. Welcome, sir, once again to one of our new ventures, which is this live session, and we have called it the Holistic Mind Live. I hope you like the title.
It's awesome,
And
and I think it's a really
yeah,
good initiative.
yeah,
Uh,
indeed, indeed.
I think
People can
let's should do this more often. In
hear,
fact,
indeed, indeed. We are actually trying to do this every other day, intermittent days, every day, every intermittent day in a week, so that our viewers, our friends on Instagram, as well as on YouTube, can benefit from our discussions and our chit chats, so they can also come join us through their comments and their participation. And today we are joined, secondly, by Neha. Neha is the sub-editor of the Holistic Mind, one of the sub-editors, as well as she is the chief project head of Writers Kalam. Welcome, Neha. Welcome to the live session. Now we are joined by
Hello everyone.
Hi,
Ankush
Ankush.
I'm
ma'am.
all colorful because I am,
Indeed,
yes, because
indeed.
yes, I'll just interrupt all of you. I am, yes,
Ankush ma'am, let me introduce Ankush ma'am to our audience. Ms. Ankush Bharti is the Chief Editor of the Holistic Pine as well as the Chief Operations Officer of Writers Kalam. And together we lead this knowledge venture from India to the world.
yes,
And today we are here to talk about two very important things. One is the idea of how to begin your journey into learning language. In the previous session, we started off that discussion. Today we will be moving forward with it. And obviously, we will be giving some tips to our dear Instagram friends. We'll be giving a few tips on how to begin your writing journey, how to start talking, how to start writing, all these ideas. As well as we have something very surprising, something that is exciting as well for all our Instagram family and also our YouTube family. And all of that we are going to cover in today's live session. Once again, um, welcome back, all of you, to this wonderful live
Happy
session, the
Republic
Holistic
Day,
Mind.
everybody in
Hi.
advance. Happy Republic Day, everybody in advance,
Happy
and
Republic Day to one and all,
and
to our
happy
audience.
Himachal Statehood Day.
Hmm.
Simpi ji, she is from Himachal Pradesh. She's an eminent part of Writers Column and the Holistic Pine. And
Let me rephrase it for our audience because people will be watching from YouTube also, so we have to like specifically mention certain things again so that they can also connect. Miss Simpi Sharma, Simpi ji, who Ankush ma'am just mentioned. Simpi Sharma is one of the sub-editors of the Holistic Pine, and she belongs to the Himachal Pradesh. And Ankush ma'am herself belongs to Himachal Pradesh, and today is celebrated as Himachal Day, the day when Himachal Pradesh was formed as a state. And congratulations and happy Himachal Day to all our family members from Writers Column, especially to our wonderful chief editor, Ankush ma'am. Happy Himachal
yes,
Day
I
to you
am I
especially.
am here as a Himachali, and
Indeed,
I'm all geared up for Republic Day. I thought
indeed.
that might as well add some colors because we are going to talk about our anthology Colors of India, because I believe that any language becomes very beautiful if it comes from the heart of an Indian. That makes it super special. And when we decided for the journal itself, the whole idea was a dedication to India and the world. Yes, I think that, and our team has people from various parts of India, and I believe that it makes it super special because we all are diverse, yet we are one. So,
Indeed.
hello
Suresh sir, could you
everybody
please
once again.
tilt your phone a little bit, clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Is it-
Now it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Now
Oh,
it's
okay.
fine.
Oh,
This
okay.
is good. This is good. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Otherwise, yeah, I had to look like this to see
I
you
see. I didn't
properly.
realize that. It's,
Yeah, yeah. This doesn't have that tilt function, I think. Instagram doesn't have that.
okay.
You have to like
Oh,
place it like this. Yeah.
no problems.
Yes.
Indeed, indeed. So, as Ankush Pam was mentioning, this is very interesting because Writers Kalam has announced an anthology titled Colors of India, which includes uh, writings which actually envisions um, to dedicate a book for each state in India or for each region in India to be more inclusive. And our vision is to give writers a chance to express themselves within the context, within the background of their native place, their region. They can write about their places. They can research about their homeland, their region, wherever they are from, their state, and they can write about their state, informative articles or well-researched papers about the culture, politics, social, political, cultural structures, how people, behave with each other or how people live, what are things they eat, how they mingle with each other, everything about the culture of each and every state. So that is our vision. Give writers the opportunity to write about their own state and publish a book on each state. That is the vision. So the whole project will be called Colors of India. Under each state, we will label each book, Colors of India, Himachal, for example, or Colors of India, Kerala, for example. That is how we are going to categorize each book. And those who are interested in writing about their own region, their own state, in English language. The language is English. English language is what we have set for this anthology series. It's like a series is going to be 28 or even more than 28 books because we have 28 states and we have some, we have some other areas which are not exactly states but are under the central rule, and so obviously, so those areas will also be included if there are writers from those areas. So this is an anthology, I believe, that can bring together the spirit of India, the colors of India. That is why we have called it the colors of India. Diversity. At the same time, among all these diversities, we can clearly see the spirit of Indianness, and it is that Indianness that we want to celebrate through all these differences. So kindly submit your writings at the earliest. We already have received so many tremendous, wonderful researched papers, well-written articles on several states already. You can also submit at the earliest. Your submissions can be sent to which email ID, ma'am? Could you please give the email ID? It is not to an email ID. Oh, I remembered. It has a submission form, submission link. You can send it to that link.
There's a
And that
submission
link is
link,
given
and you can visit our website
in my bio.
too. Yes.
That is in my bio, and also that is in the website, given in the website. You can go to writerskalam.com. That there you can find it, writerskalam.com, writerskalam.com. There you can find Colors of India on the top of it, Colors of India. You can click there, you can find the link submitted there. Okay, and so what do you think, Suresh sir, about this diversity, this magnificence of diversity in India? What is your take on that?
I think
and
it's.
what do you think?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
What do you think? What do you think when you look at writers being able to express the diversity of their state, still being one in the Indianness, in being being part of this beautiful culture?
Well, I think it will be a very interesting story to read. Because I look back at my experiences when I was working, and I traveled. I've traveled quite a bit across India. I think I used to tell my colleagues, after every 100 kilometers or so, the dialect changes. And of course, that's one part of the demography. It's an interesting experience, because for me it was I think the biggest challenge, if I see it as a challenge professionally, the challenge was that different set of people, different mindsets, different cultures. So the way of doing business changed, and you needed to be a very versatile professional to handle such a wide variety of diverse diverse individuals. And the interesting part was that a lot of it would be within the same state. What we what we call a political state, the language or the way of doing things is very different. The culture is extremely different. It is fun also. It's great fun. I think there's an amazing learning involved. There's so much to explore. There is so much to learn. People always talk about traveling abroad. They say you should travel to understand the world, to be a better person, etc., etc. I mean, let's travel the country first. People don't realize there's so much. India has so much to offer, and this is a very common, observation I have about people is they talk about going to Europe, going to South America, etc. It's very beautiful there. It's a different set of culture, different people. I said, please try a bit hard. Go to the eastern part of India, go to the western part of India, go to central, go to south. I mean, I'm talking about people primarily from north here, especially Delhi. So I tell them, you should travel a bit. And I will just step back for 6 months back when I had gone to south. I had gone to Tamil Nadu for my son's admission, and I was there for a few days. It was, I realized that their way of living is very different from ours. And it's like I said, it's amazing. People are so different in their way of life within one geographical or political entity, whatever you call it. So I think India, traveling across India, colors of India. When we talk about colors of India, the colors of India can really it can teach you so much.
Indeed.
To put it very simply, it can just teach us so much. There's so much to see. There's so much to learn. So, like I said, when you talk about those 28 books for each state, I mean, it'll make very interesting read.
Indeed.
And I think it will require a bit of an intellectual challenge to actually realize that this is actually within one country. It's an intellectual challenge to understand that so much of something so different, yet one common thing, the fact that we are all Indians. It will be an intellectual challenge to understand that there's so much diversity.
Indeed. So true.
Yeah.
So true.
It is.
I think that is one of the capacities that we are born with. We understand it even without any effort.
Right.
As an Indian. So it's a capacity that we have. That was one of the ideas that we understood and we were discussing the previous day. In the previous live, where we were discussing something related to language, and there was a discussion came up where somebody asked from the audience regarding Indian languages and English, especially national language and English, which language should be prioritized, etc. And the answer that I thought of was, it is only in India that you get the opportunity as a child from the childhood days itself to learn and listen to and in a way acclimatized to all these different languages. And you have that inborn capacity as an Indian to understand, learn and love all these languages at the same time. Anybody will learn Hindi in school, feel patriotic about it, learn their mother tongue, especially if you're not from the northern parts, central parts. And obviously you will be learning English as well. So minimum 3 languages you will be learning. That's what makes an Indian in a linguistic perspective. We are multilingual in the true essence, and I think that doesn't even take an effort from us. It just happens quite naturally. If you go through the public education system, it just happens naturally. We come out as polyglots, obviously. That doesn't happen in the West. that they have to take an extra effort to learn Latin or Spanish or some other language. Here, even if you don't go to school, for example, you learn at least 2 or 3 languages from home itself. Even little kids do that when they grow up and they socialize and all. So I think that is one of the advantages of being an Indian. Well, you don't need to put an extra effort to learn any of these languages or cultures. You are born into this. You are immersed into this reality, this diversity, and you learn these languages, you imbibe these languages. I think that is one of the advantages of being an Indian. I'm not,
Very true.
I don't think I'm exaggerating it. This is the reality of this beautiful country. And therefore, I believe that we don't have and we shouldn't have an issue with learning English or using English for our literary pursuits, literary arts. We can and we should use English with pride as an Indian language. And because the discussion, whether it's an Indian language or not, had already been settled even in the early 1990s. Literary critics were already accepting English as an Indian language, Indian English, which is what they were calling. And the Hyderabad Central University had, I think they had this project back in those days where they standardized Indian English also. They have these set of sound systems, phonetic symbols, which can be used to phonetically describe Indian sounds in English. For example, in the British RP, in the word go, for example, Go, going somewhere, go. That uses a diphthong, go. Whereas in Indian English, it is just an O, go. So these are standardized already. IFLU had standardized these things already. There is a standard set of Indian phonetic alphabet, which is close to the RP but still different. For example, these minor differences. And I think that is one of the things we need to keep in mind, especially new learners, young learners. The reason why I'm bringing up young learners here is because Instagram is a platform which is mostly used by young people, is what I heard. So, if they are watching, if you are a beginner in language learning or writing, this is one thing that you need to remember. You don't need to feel ashamed or less confident or in a way ridiculed or anything when using English language, because this is part of Indian culture itself. We have taken English and we have made it ourselves, ours, this is ours now. So for literary pursuits, for writing, for reading, you don't need to worry whether, you are using English and what will somebody else say. You don't need to worry about that, because English is an Indian language, one of the Indian languages now. And that is one of the reasons why we wanted to celebrate this multiplicity of India, this proud nation. And that is one of the reasons why we kept English as the language medium for Colors of India. And as one of our audiences was asking, I think it was Roger who always comes to our live sessions and motivates us, supports us. He was asking, why did we use the word color? Was it in the sense that we are talking about skin color? Is it like that? So, Ankush ma'am, could you please elaborate on this concept of color? Why did we choose the word color to talk about, or at least to name, to be precise? In the name itself, we have chosen Colors of India. So what do you mean by colors in Colors of India? What exactly is that sense in it? Could you please elaborate on that, Ankush ma'am?
Yes, sure. Thank you so much, Roger, for your presence today. Your questions always motivate us. And thank you, everyone. And before elaborating more on Colors of India, guys, can you all just type you come from which state or country? Then I'll start on Colors of India. Just if you can. Roger is from Goa. What about others? Okay. Well, Colors of India, this question was raised by one more person, that whether it refers to the skin complexion. I would just want to clarify that when we came with this thought of colors of India, it referred to the beauty of India, the beauty and richness of India, and that is in cultures, that different cultures, languages, even the attire, the clothing that is worn. If you go from one place to the other, even just like Sureshji said about the difference of even approximately 100 kilometers, whereas in Himachal it is not even 100. It is a distance of a few kilometers, and just the dialects would change, the dresses would change, everything would change. And the same goes for other states as well. So, when we came with this thought of Colors of India, we decided that we are going to have a series of books in the anthology with the name of Colors of India, and it is going to be a dedication to India, its diversity, its beauty in unity and diversity. That is the reason we decided for it. And we have made it open for everybody. And the reason behind taking the language English, Sir has already told beautifully on this. But still, I would like to add on that if we had taken it in the regional language or in Hindi, then it would not have been applicable to other people or maybe other countries. Let's take it that ways. So that is the reason we decided that we are going to take this language, English, and Colors of India is going to be for everybody, every Indian, even Indians who are settled abroad, even they can participate in this. Yes.
I think one of the questions that I asked myself was when I was starting the live, how can anyone submit their writings to Colors of India? For example, if they are from Assam, how can you submit? The answer is that you can Google it, Colors of India Writers Column, and you can find our link, our website link, and you can go to the website and you can go to the submission link under Colors of India tab, and you can submit your writing there. Or if you are interested in reading books, reading journals, you can purchase a copy of the Holistic Pine Journal. This is the December edition copy, December issue. You can see that in the second page inside the journal, we have given a QR code. If you scan this QR code, you will be directed to the link of submission to Colors of India. You can directly submit to Colors of India from the journal also. And if you are on Instagram more often, then you can directly go to my profile page in my bio. I have given the link of Colors of India. Otherwise, you can go to Writers Column official page on Instagram. There also we have given links to writerscolumn.com or Colors of India. Or you can also go to our teammates Instagram pages, like for example Suresh sir has a page, Neha has a page, Ankush ma'am has a page, so you can find links to submit to Colors of India in all these Instagram pages. But if you are from YouTube, for example, if you are watching this video on YouTube, then you have to go to writerscolumn.com and submit it from there. Okay, and don't think that this is a paid opportunity. Okay, what do you think, Neha? Could you please tell us? Do we need to pay for as a writer, for example? I'm asking you as a writer. Do I have to pay to publish my writing about Kerala in Colors of India?
No, sir.
There is no payment, right?
Yes, sir. There is no payment for the submission in the Colors of India anthology.
Wow. So you can submit without any payment, without any monetary payment. You don't need to pay a single penny to submit for Colors of India anthology. Isn't that a wonderful news? I think in today's world where everything is costly, writing is very difficult already. So all you need to do is write your article, write your research paper on any topic from your state, and just go to the link and upload it. That's it. We will take a look at it. We will read it. Our team will read it. We have a panel of experts. They will go through it. And we will give you suggestions and feedbacks also regarding your writing. If it is not good, we will tell you directly. If it is good enough, we will definitely let you know. If you need improvement, if we think that you can improve a lot, then we will tell you where to improve. So this can help you also like a writing exercise. That is our vision, to help every writer in India, helping India write.
Yes,
And
yes, and you can,
with
and
that,
they
with
can
that we
write
come to
even
the
fiction.
indeed we come to the next area, which is helping India write campaign, which is a mission that Writers Kalam has undertaken, and Colors of India is part of this particular mission where we help writers find their voices. We help writers write well and get their works published. This is Helping India Write campaign. So this anthology is part of that campaign also. So Ankush Mem was saying that you can also submit your short stories or your poems as well. We have limited the slots of creative writing for Colors of India anthology. It is not only a short story or poetry anthology. We accept all genres, but we have limited slots for short story and poetry. However, if you are a short story writer or poet, just submit your writing so that we can take a look at it. If it is really good, very compelling, we will be including it, obviously. Even if we don't have a slot, we will make one. So please do send all your writings without waiting for any more. And regarding, writing, now let's come back to the topic that we left off in the previous session, writing and language use, the use of language and writing. So what do you guys think? Let's get back to that discussion, the beginning of writing. Once you understand the importance of respecting a language, you start learning that language without any inhibitions. That is when you start learning a language without inhibitions. And once you do that, once you start learning language, I think the next step you need to take is use that language. So how do you use a language? You speak it or you write it. So my question next is to Suresh sir. Suresh sir, how did you learn to speak English so well? What was your strategy? What were your strategies when you were a student or you were a professional? Uh, can you share a few of these strategies? Could you please share a few of them for our young readers, young listeners? I'm sorry, young listeners, because there are so many of them here. On YouTube also, they'll be listening, they'll be watching. So do you have any tips or techniques that our young learners, our young family members can use to improve their English spoken communication? Suresh sir.
Well, in my case, I started reading books, English books at an early age. So it was, for me, it was about biography, history, uh, and literature. Uh, I started when I was 10 or 11. So it took me just a year to realize that my spoken English and the way I write, I am doing better than a lot of my
Yeah,
classmates. Saying that,
indeed.
of course, the intent, my idea of my or rather my interest in reading books did not stem from the idea that I wanted to improve my English, spoken English or my written English. That happened by default. But yes, I have realized,
Okay.
after a few years, I realized that reading those books has given me a distinct advantage in terms of communication. So I
Mm-hmm.
had a head start, and it it's proven to be a big plus for me throughout my life.
Mm.
And uh,
I think we have some issue, but I think he's back. Yes, sir, please continue. There
yeah,
was a slight connectivity issue. Yeah. Now it's
So
okay.
the other part was when, when, like I said, I spent so much time in sales. The surprising thing was, at that time, there were a lot of people who actually who were not fluent in English, spoken English, or even in writing emails for that matter. But of course, the biggest disadvantage a lot of people had in sales at that time was they did not speak English that well. And when you're approaching corporates, and I'm talking about FMCG products. I'm not talking here about IT products and knowledge products, or I'm talking about physical FMCG products or durable products. Even in my last stint, where I was working with a consumer durable company, I had to attend all the corporate inquiries because very few people could speak with that fluency, and for me that was a big surplus. So I mean, of course, this is, like I said again, this is let me be clear that the profession of sales, and especially in durables, may not require you to be fluent in English, but yes, there is a particular segment there's a particular category of customers where it is a big advantage.
Plus point. Advantage, yes.
Yeah. So
indeed.
So I think like going back again to my school days, for me it was reading a lot of books, which was helpful in
great.
Upgrading my communication skills.
So from that particular idea, reading books, I too remember that when I was in college, one of the biggest pastime activities that I had was visiting a library and spending time in library with books. And indeed, that had an advantage, no doubt about it. So you were absolutely right, because reading definitely gives us an advantage. It gives us a winning edge, so to speak.
And may I just add here that for people who want to improve on their communication, if you read out what you're if you speak out rather what you're reading, so it not be in a very loud voice, but if you actually speak out what you are reading, that over a period of time is very helpful, in improving your accent, in improving the the flow of how shall I put it, the flow of language, the flow of the communication in English is very helpful. If you read it out, read out the whatever you're reading. It's very helpful.
Yes.
And it's a big.
Those who are watching this, I want you to write it down. Write it down, guys. Write it down, because this is a very important point. Read out loud. So you were saying, continue, please.
So, like I said, that's very helpful. And the one other thing which I can suggest is you can watch English movies. Now, people might think that's a waste of time, or it is. I mean, how does it help? Again, if you can, just you need to speak. If you try and speak the dialogues which the actors are, they're quoting in the film, not necessarily with the accent, but
indeed.
You try and speak the dialogues in the movie. That's very helpful. I mean, that people might actually find it more enjoyable. Also, a lot of people, for some people, reading books is still a cumbersome effort. So probably this.
They don't like reading, most of them. Yeah. Even in my classes, I do feel my students, they don't have any passion for reading. They just read because sometimes people like me force them to. So they become Hitlers in class and force them to read. So that is why, Yeah, indeed. That was a very useful tip, sir, by the way. Because, reading out loud helps a lot in improving your diction, spoken communication level. And I think it also builds your confidence, because you hear your own words, in your own sound. That's very important. Your phonetic environment, you get familiarized with your own phonetic environment, to put it in a technical way.
Even better
And
would be if
that
they record the.
amplifies.
Sorry, even it's better. Even better would be if they could record, if they can record the what they're saying, listen to it again, and they'll be able to understand where they're required to make the improvements.
Very good. Very good tip.
It's very helpful.
Excellent. It's like a mini language lab. You're creating it with your phone in your house. Mobile language lab. Exactly. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent idea. And I think by doing that, we also gain that confidence, listening to our own voice in this language. You get confident that, okay, I can do it in public now. So when you speak in public, you don't feel bogged down. You don't feel a little embarrassed by hearing your voice, speaking those words. They don't seem strange anymore once you practice reading out loud, because you habitualize yourself by listening to your own words, your own sound, and you no longer feel embarrassed when you speak out in public. I think that's one of the really good, cool tips for learners, beginners who want to learn how to speak in English. So this is like excellent tip. Wonderful.
I'll just add one more thing, sir. Here, I'll just take a minute.
Sure, sure.
The point about the confidence booster when you listen to your own voice. In fact, if you develop that confidence, I've realized that a lot of people they'll ignore your grammatical mistakes.
Exactly.
Because of the confidence with which you speak. They're so they enjoy your way of communication that they'll ignore the grammar involved in the communication. So. I mean, the biggest point being that that the confidence. I'm not saying I'm not saying use the wrong words, but that confidence in itself will help you improve your communication.
Indeed.
That's it.
I think that's very important because having confidence helps you to connect words, to make proper sentences, and connect sentences to make proper paragraphs or connected speech. Because what is grammar essentially? It is how we connect words to form sentences. And if you have that element of confidence, obviously when you connect words with each other, at least with your confidence, you will deliver them in a meaningful way. Even though the connectivity or connection might go wrong somewhere, but it doesn't matter. And there are certain techniques and tips that we will also discuss regarding grammar in our future sessions. Today, we are not going deeper into those areas. In the future, we will definitely discuss certain easy tips on how to master grammar without even reading a book. That is there in our arsenal. We are going to talk about it soon. And those are going to be explosive sessions which are coming to you live in the future. In the coming sessions, we'll be discussing that. Today, our topic is obviously Colors of India anthology, which is coming soon. So if you're a writer from India, from any of the states in India, you can write about your state, write about your state in any way, any genre you want. You can write a short story, a poem, or we prefer you to write well-researched articles or papers on any area, political, cultural, folklore, any area, food, colors, dances, art, festivals, anything from your state, and send it to Colors of India using the link on, there is a link on my bio, in my bio. Or you can also scan the code given in the Holistic Pine and journal. Inside the journal, we have given a QR code which you can scan, and you can get the link where you can submit your writings. I request you to submit at the earliest so that your writings will be included in this anthology. Every state will have a separate book in which writings about that particular state will be included. Our vision is to create a book on each state in India. And Writers Kalam is running a campaign titled Helping India Write. And this anthology is part of that campaign where we envision helping writers and students of India to acquire language skills, writing skills, and to be able to present themselves, to be able to help themselves in their lives in a better way. So contact us through writerskalam.com. Send us your writings. Be a part of Colors of India. If you are not from India, if you are from abroad or from some other nation, contact us if you are interested in writing for the Holistic Pine Journal, which is a monthly independent journal published internationally. You can get it from anywhere in the world, digitally as well as print. This is a print copy of the journal. This is a copy from the December issue. This is a December copy. So you have the January copy already available. January issue is already released. And if you are not from India, consider writing for the Holistic Mind and be part of this revolutionary, this sensational new idea, this sensational new journal, the Holistic Mind. Be a part of the Holistic Mind. Now let's continue with this question. Let me investigate further. How, Ankush ma'am, you are a writer. You are a person who is well versed in literary skills. Let us discuss. Could you please tell us, especially our young listeners, how did you acquire, how did you learn this art and craft of creating wonderful sentences? Because using language in a complete way includes both spoken as well as written communication. Suresh sir has already elaborated on both. However, he has left some scope in a discussion on writing written communication. So, Ankush ma'am, could you please elaborate on the written side of communication? What is writing? How do you look at what is writing? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by writing in English? How did you learn how to write in English? Could you please share a few tips, techniques that our listeners, young people, new learners, students can utilize for free? This is for free. We are not charging anything. Let them utilize it. Like I said, the young generation needs a teacher because they're full of enthusiasm, they're full of energy, but they don't have anybody to tell them what to do, how to improve themselves. Let us take up that responsibility as writers column. Ma'am, could you please tell us, elaborate on how to write? What is the technique? How can we improve our writing skills? Ankush ma'am, over to you.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity to comment on, to not really comment on. See, writing, I believe, differs from person to person. If you're a school student, then you would have a different perspective. From a writer perspective, creating sentences are very different. Like you can be quite imaginative. You can add juice to your writings. If you're a fiction, if you are trying to be into fiction, then I believe the narrative would be very different. The sentences would be different. Then you can even, juggle around with words. And nowadays, what I love reading, and I believe that if you're a good reader, then automatically there are chances that you will be a good writer. That happens because if you haven't opened your mind to reading, then how will you produce writings? So if you read something, then only you would be able to write. And if you have to start as a beginner, if you have to create sentences, then you need to remember that it comes with practice. Start with basic books and practice sentences. Start with 5 sentences a day, then with 10. And don't be overwhelmed or, just don't, you need to have confidence whenever you are trying to learn any language, be it reading or writing. So when you have to form sentences, like see, when we had to create sentences, I was studying in a school where we had the facility, we had teachers, we had the environment where we would immediately learn sentences. We could even think in English. Thinking in English means that you don't have to think twice or thrice. But we would
Yeah.
be made to practice time and again, and thanks to ICSE board, we would have so many books to study, so many books to read, and it would give us that imagination. We would be floating. That would happen. That happens with writers. I'm talking from the perspective of writing. Like I started writing poetry at a very young age. I write in both Hindi and English. And I can say that uh, writing, especially if you're in the creative field, you have that space. You can be flexible with words, but it can only happen if you read more.
Yeah.
Great writings can only come if you have read something, then only you can put imagination. It cannot happen overnight if you are thinking to be a good writer. It comes with practice. Especially, you need to incorporate reading to it. Then it can happen. And be very observant of your surroundings. That is what happens. Like we as writers, like I write fiction, poetry. Um, I've tried I've tried all forms of writing in both English and Hindi. And whenever I write, even in that fiction, I have my own personal life experiences. That happens with all the writers. It is not actually fiction. That character or somebody who that plot is actually from that person's life. Even in horror, that happens. We must, and at times it happens that we have heard a story from our great grandfathers. Like in my upcoming book, I have um, written a story, and it is taken from a song that was sung at my village a lot. We would hear a lot. And the beauty of that song was that um, it would just flow, and we were mesmerized even today. So when the book Soils of India was there, and Stories from the Soil, stories, yes. So I
That is the
decided that
book you
why
are
not?
mentioning, Stories,
Yes, yes,
Stories from the
Sam.
Soil.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Stories
okay,
from the
okay. So
soil,
in
and
that book
it
you have
is
this wonderful story.
yes, yes. And I could immediately, when I decided on this, I thought I will be just taking this one song, this Himachali folk song that I heard over these years. And while I was reading it, I researched on it and tried to, join the parallel universe. One was from that era and today. But what I learned with writing, that if you are open to ideas, like if I had just shut down that idea, oh, I am a person who's from today's generation, why should I stick to those songs? But I'm a person, I really like storytellers. Like my grandfather was a storyteller. We would just listen to his stories. So if you have to write, and if you have to start with creative writing, just start with writing itself. This is always our advice. Don't think that I will be a perfect person, then I will start writing sentences or poem or just a short story. Don't do that. That is the biggest
That's a
mistake you
good
do.
idea. Hmm.
Yes. Just scribble it down. And like Neha writes a diary every day, and it is the most beautiful creative diary because it has poetries. Sometimes they're dedicated to people and all, and indirectly, what she is doing. It is happening in her human capacity that she can even publish it later. That is
Yes,
the secret.
very
That
important
is the
point. Very important
secret.
point. Writing a
So if you have
diary,
to write,
very important.
yes, start writing a diary.
Very
And
important.
one more thing I will tell you, this is a technique that people, when you are too much frustrated with things, when you have no solution, nobody to listen to you, just scribble your emotions, just keep on writing. and either burn them or flush them out, or you just tear them to pieces. What happens is that venting out emotions is very important. It depends on you whether you want to be violent with them or whether you want to pen them down. Yes. So, like
That
I
one,
would,
that is a very important thing. I mean, writing a diary, I remember reading a writer called Richard Bach, who in one of his novels was, I think it was a novel titled One, in which he's talking about how he finds all his stories. And he tells us that he just goes through one of his old diaries and takes up one
yes,
instance
yes,
and he creates a story out of it. So he says that he has, hundreds of stories written in his old diaries, which he can use later. That I think that was inspiration for me, and I even had diaries. I even used to write
yes,
diaries.
that happens. That
You know,
happens.
yeah,
When I am mentioning this, I am taking the example of Neha, and many people say that we look like sisters. The reason behind her is that we are quite similar in the thought process. I used to
indeed.
write a lot of diaries. Like diaries, even today I buy. But the
Mm,
only difference is that maybe I found the perfect, catharsis for my emotions. Like I've written so much, so many diaries. Like that made me a writer.
good.
Now I'm using those memories or writings into fiction. And also, whenever
Good.
you have to write a sentence, first and foremost, start with baby steps. But if you are a big fighter, if you have had experiences in your life, or you have had very good storytellers in your life, see all the people who are of the previous generations. I always tell this thing to everybody, that don't neglect your grandparents, your parents. That is the biggest blunder you could do in your life, because
Yes.
all these stories, they pass through generations, and
Yes.
what mistakes that they committed,
Mm,
you can just, they pass on these ideas to you. You can learn
mm,
better and move. The
true.
same it goes with the writing things. Like I have, whenever I have to mention one writer who was the most inspiring one. So I am always clueless, but still I always come down. I will always say that Munshi Premchand is one of
Wow.
my favorite even today.
Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
Munshi
Excellent
Premchand.
taste. Munshi Premchand.
And I
Well
have
done.
it on my table. I just have it
Uh,
here.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the reason for liking it even more was that it was passed to me by my dad, by my father. So it makes it
Yeah, yeah.
even more relevant. And so if I'm writing, like today I can even write on village life or country life of India, and that too not from India, from the
Mm,
Western concept as well. Why? Because now I have the thought, because and that concept in my mind, how a native land is, how it is. So be open to
mm,
all the ideas, and if you want to be a good writer, just
mm,
continue writing, and every day dedicate one page at least or half a page to writing. That is what you can do. And in
very good.
today's world, there is so much information is there, but it is very important to be self-sufficient. So be your own teacher. There shouldn't be any spoon feeding with it. If you're determined to be a big writer one day, or even to score well in your English language or literature exam, be self-sufficient. Why do you need spoon feeding for your teacher? From your teachers are doing the best. Come home, practice it well. That will make you shine. From
Mm,
zeros, it can be 10. Later on, it will be 100. You just have to continue. That is a process. That is writing is all about. Yes. I think I have spoke a lot on this topic,
excellent. Excellent.
but
You have
these were
actually
my
given
interesting
us
thoughts.
you have given us a master class in how to start creative writing, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm indebted to you
Oh,
on behalf of my listeners, our listeners, our Instagram family and YouTube family. I'm indebted that you have given us a short-term master class. You know, in within such a short period of time, you have given us a lot of information, and this is incredible because most people don't realize the importance of writing a diary, especially students. They don't realize it because writing a diary can give you so much of potential. Neha today is the sub-editor of India's first um, international
Independent.
lifestyle
Yes.
independent monthly journal. She's not there because of anything else, because of this dedication to writing. That's what brought her there. And I think that's not very usual. It's not something ordinary. Only an extraordinary person can do that. And
Yes,
in
yes,
order to
and
be
people who are
extraordinary,
quiet,
this is what
very good writer.
indeed,
Yes, that is also
indeed, indeed,
true. And
indeed.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. The name writer's kalam in itself means the pen of a writer, ek lekhak ki kalam. So
Hmm.
when you have to be a writer, don't
Hmm.
think that I have to be just like this writer or that writer. Why not your name?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because every writer has that extra finishing or something that makes that writer different. So don't restrict yourself from writing. Be confident and just start it from today itself. That
Hmm.
one page every day. Yes, that is what you can do. And we are going to come up with many new such classes and courses if you guys want uh, on
Definitely. I mean, these are
improving.
excellent points, excellent points. Excellent points. Anybody who puts into practice the methods that Ankush ma'am has just elaborated, he or she can become a writer in no time. If you decide to make a change in your life right now, tomorrow is going to be a new day for you. You can be a writer tomorrow, you know. I think those points that she mentioned were excellent and exceptionally useful. That's what I'd say. Very pragmatic, very useful. I especially like the idea of understanding these two different types of writings because when I initially mentioned it, I was generalizing that topic very much, but she very cleverly delineated these two modes of writing: writing for school and college, writing for academic purpose, and also writing as a writer. She very interestingly and cleverly delineated these two ideas, and I think this is very important for you to understand. If you are a student, if you are doing a particular course, writing for that course, writing an exam is a different kind of writing, and you need to understand the strategies and steps in these different arenas of writing, I would say, in these different areas of writing. If you are, for example, writing a poem or a short story, that's a different kind of writing, and you need a different kind of thought process for that, different kind of language. But if you're in a school or college and if you're writing for your course, or writing exams or assignments or projects, then you need a different kind of writing. But essentially, it's all writing. Essentially, it's all about putting words together, forming sentences, putting sentences together, forming paragraphs, putting paragraphs together, and forming a readable essay. It's all about that. But again, as I said, the thought process is different. So we need to talk about the thought process too, which we will do in the coming sessions also. Wonderful, wonderful idea that you shared. And you know what? I was actually in the middle of it. You must have seen me going for a pen and my diary. You know what I was trying to do? I was trying to scribble down notes, by the way. And you know what I realized? This pen doesn't work, unfortunately. And then I realized I don't need to write this down because this video is will be available on Instagram for later watching. It will also be uploaded on our YouTube channel, Writers Kalam. Writers Kalam by Anulal, that's the name of the YouTube channel. And this
YouTube,
video will be
yes.
uploaded there. Yeah, this video will be there, so I can go back and watch it and learn the points from right there. I don't even need to write it down. I can also watch it on Instagram again later, maybe tomorrow or maybe tonight later. So I don't need to write it down. Goodbye to this pen, which doesn't really work anyway. So that is one of the things that I forgot, that we will be, making this video available on YouTube, and also it will be available on Instagram for further watching. later by those who are interested. And see, Writer's Kalam is the name of a journey. It's a journey with a vision and a mission. We envision a particular expertise. We envision excellence. We envision a strength in this nation. We want to empower our nation by spreading literacy, by spreading the power of writing. That is our mission. And under Helping India Write, we are creating these anthologies to empower this wonderful, strong nation. It's already strong. We're not saying it's not strong, but we should be even more stronger, because as we know, we might be strong in so many areas, but in literacy and in the way, even in literature, I'd say, even in literature, we have some amazing writers. We have some amazing writers all across India. Regional literature has amazing talent, unbelievable talent, incredible talent is there. Writers like Benjamin from Malayalam and so many writers across India. There's tremendous talent there. English writers are there, English writers, Indian writers who write in English, but still the new writers that are coming up, those young people who are interested in writing books. The question is, are they getting quality writing advice, or are they creating quality products, or are they just spending their money to publish books? So that is the question. Are we looking at a genuine boom in literature, or is it just a bubble? That is the biggest and most dangerous question that we are asking. And we are asking you that question. As a reader, what do you think? Don't you think that our young writers should be educated in writing? Don't you think that our young writers should be given proper training and proper guidance in writing? Even the central government has started a project for young writers. If you are a young writer, the question is, are you participating in it? Have you submitted your application? Do you even know about that program? See, there's so many things that nobody wants you to. Perhaps some people don't want you to know, And the answer is that Writer's Kalam is there for you to understand how we will be discussing further these ideas, and we will also discuss central government's project for creative writers. We'll be discussing that in the next session, which will be useful for you guys. We'll be telling you how to apply and how to submit properly your application. We are planning to conduct a course on that also, and hopefully you will be benefiting from it. Like all other projects of Writer's Kalam, this too is going out for you, okay, every one of you. So be a part of our future ventures. Do get a copy of The Holistic Pine, which is available now in all online stores, Amazon, Flipkart, and everywhere, even internationally. And get a copy, get the latest copy, or if you want this particular one, it's already available. The importance of this edition is that in this December edition, we are talking about, we are giving you tremendous information on different courses. Various new generation courses are discussed here. So if you're interested, you can take a look at it. You can get a free sneak peek of this journal from Google Books or Google Play Store also. So I think now it's time for us to gradually sum up our discussion today. In today's live session, we discussed two areas: how to start, that was the first discussion, how to start using language both in spoken as well as in written communication. The second thing that we discussed was what is Colors of India, the new project from Writer's Kalam, which envisions to unite India in all its diversity, to represent India in all its diversity, using books, using one book dedicated to each state, where writers will be given opportunity to publish their works. and where we are using Indian English to promote diversity of India in front of the whole world, by the way. Not just in India, but across the world. We are going to take this book across the world. Um, so once again, uh, let me remind you all how important it is for us and also for the whole nation for you to be a part of this journey, Writers Kalam's journey, where we try to create programs that empower the nation and its literacy, its literary journey also. Be a part of our team, be a part of Writers Kalam family. Visit our website or any of our social media platforms. You can also visit our YouTube channel, Writers Kalam by Anulal. So let us conclude now. I'd like to thank all the Writers Kalam team members who were available today. There are so many others who couldn't be here, but those who are here today, Suresh sir, Ankush ma'am, and Neha. Uh, Thank you so much, guys, for being here. It was awesome that you are here and you shared so many important points, so many valuable ideas with our readers, with our listeners, especially the young generation, the young people who are listening, who are watching. I think this was like a masterclass summarized. Suresh, sir, you are wonderful with your points on how to improve spoken communication. That was like, and your language is so good. Your voice quality, like it's kind of bewitching. I'd say it's like intoxicating. So it's great learning from you. And I'm sure our listeners had a great time. Ankush, ma'am, your tips on how to improve writing was like a masterclass, as you already said. I didn't exaggerate. I was telling you the truth, by the way. And you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I wish I could send you chocolates from here, but I'm sending you my kisses, flying kisses, guys. Thank you so much. And let's meet next time. And next time we are going to talk about some very important ideas, like for example, how to enroll in central government's incubator, writers incubator program, which helps writers. And we are also going to talk about how today we talked about how to start. We started today, right? In your writing journey, if you're following our steps, you started writing today. You started your journey to become excellent in your speaking and writing skills. That is the beginning. Okay. In the next episode, we'll be talking about how to move forward. What are the specific steps on creating a paragraph? How can you write a paragraph? That's the next big deal, right? So we are going to talk about all those wonderful things in the next episode of the Holistic Mind Live. So I think it's time for us to wind up and get some sleep. Right, sir?
Right.
Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night, sir, and thank you for this.
Bye-bye. Take care. Most welcome, sir. See you in the next session.
See you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
See you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
So, guys, once again, thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful day. Thank you.